What is up, the internet? All of you, the entire population of the earth, as it were. As we were joking a little bit backstage. Hello, all you newcomers and longtime fans alike. My name is Josh. Thank you for being here on bonus stage for another Let's Listen. And we are today featuring our good friends here at Videri String Quartet. We're joined by Rosie, Mateus, and Alan. And yeah, we're here to celebrate your new release, Quarentets. Congratulations! Lots of clapping in the chat, please. Throw some pills or some masks or what other medical emotes you may have in chat. Yeah, how's everybody doing today? Let's go around a little circle. Rosie, how's it going?
I'm great. I mean, Josh, I'm just so excited that we have finally released this album. We can share it with everyone, and we're so excited to be back. So today's a good day.
Awesome. Well, when did the album drop officially? Because it's been, I don't know. I don't want to say too much on your behalf, but
No. It's one of those because we just wanted to get it out, and so when I licensed it through Sounddrop, I put release as soon as possible, which I know now never to do again because it was like, when's the album coming out? Soon. So the
as soon as
official
possible.
official release date was February 16th, but it didn't go live on all the other platforms until probably about the 20th. So we're just going to say that it's the end of February that it is gone live.
All right, yeah. By today at the very least, right?
Yes, exactly. I know when I was talking to you about scheduling a listening party, I was like, all right, we have to push it far enough back that it will be out because the album wasn't out yet. So next time, pick a date when you schedule your releases.
Oh, well, like you said, this album has been in the works for a while. It feels like you've finally been able to give birth and just push it out. Why wait any longer? I totally get that.
Yeah.
Mateus, how's it going?
And
oh, sorry.
Eli's here.
Oh, crap, we got Eli too? Oh, man.
Hey, guys. You hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Oh, dang.
Can you see me?
We're getting... There we go. Okay.
I hope I didn't screw everything up. Hey, guys.
Wow, yeah. No, just my layout.
You got here just in time, Eli. We started 2 minutes ago.
Okay, great. Awesome.
We're just talking to everybody and making sure everybody's happy and having a good day so far.
Look at Josh doing it live.
Yeah.
Adjusting the layout. Ooh,
Oh,
so good.
Thank you. I'm sorry for screwing it up. I know it makes a big difference.
One of these days, I'll come up with the perfect solution, and I won't have to do anything on the fly. But no, it's all good. We're super happy to have you, Eli. How's it going?
Good. No, I'm super happy to be here. I turned 30 2 days ago, so happy to be.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Super excited. I'm sure they told you we were doing a lot of recording up in Michigan last weekend, so it's a good way to ring in the new decade. So yeah.
I was about to say that when Josh asked me how I was doing. I was like, oh man, I still can't believe what happened last weekend. We had a house full of just amazing people, all the Videris congregated here from all different corners of this country, and we did a short live stream, we played some video games, we rehearsed a bit, we recorded a lot, and it was so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Alan and I stayed up to 5 a.m. that last night.
You did.
Is that recording or celebrating?
I think we were playing Boomerang Foo and then a little bit of Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah.
So, and I think Rosie stayed up involuntarily through that whole thing too. So,
yeah, it was fine. It was all fine. I was resting, but I could hear you guys downstairs. But I did want to say, I know a lot of you in the audience know Videri and are probably wondering that there is a new face up here.
Who could this be?
So,
who is that handsome fella?
And actually, some of you who went to MagFest in 2017, it might not be a new face because Alan played with us at MagFest when Jeremiah couldn't make it. But when we all kind of in December we got together and had the talk about like what are we doing as a group, like where do we go from here, and we all decided that we where we go is we keep going, which was really exciting. But Jeremiah is no longer he's just no longer able to play with us anymore. I mean, he moved to California. He has a new job, so we were lucky enough to be able to find Alan, who hopped right in. And as I said, he just kind of took over the social media, which is amazing. So we're so excited to have Alan Hahn as the new cellist for Videri.
Super glad to be a part and super happy to be playing with everybody in Videri and to be playing video game music and string quartet music. Great joy.
Absolutely. And you reminded
and
me
fun
that...
fact.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, fun fact about myself and Alan is we were both at Meadowmount School of Music together like 11 years ago.
We
and
just
had
made
no
that
idea.
connection the other day. We were like, we know all of the same people and, know all of the same counselors. They're just like, were we there at the same time?
Yeah, there's certain people you're like, where do you know this person from? Because you shouldn't know that person unless we were at this particular spot. So,
yeah.
And I met Alan originally, actually applying a basically a music theory entrance exam at Yale while I was, being a TA. And Alan came in a year later that I did. And that's where we met. It was very weird.
And now look at
and
you.
here it's such a small world. It is
It's
such
a small world.
A wonderful, wonderfully small world.
A nice, beautiful, close-knit community of people. And I wanted to use that as a launching point to comment on the concept of the album a little bit, and particularly in light of the art, folks. If you haven't had a chance to look at the art for this album, it is incredible. But I especially want to, in this context, point out the fact that you have placed your little sprites all on separate corners of the map, and so you are like very, very like visually separated by all that distance and such, and how wonderful it is that you're still able to connect and come together over music, and especially most recently, right?
If you go back to that album art for a second, Josh,
Sure.
You could actually see, and by the way, the art was done by Nate Horsfall and Katie Vercarmen Grandjean, and we cannot be happier. It's amazing. But if you look at the staff of music, it actually connects all four of us.
Oh my God.
So even though we're separated, we are connected through the music.
And the music and the staff is also, they're legit excerpts of of things that we play in the album. So
yeah,
which is really cool.
Sorry, I just have to point out that we are being rated by Schnabubula with 76 viewers. Folks, wow, thank you so much for being
Welcome.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome.
Schnabubula has been...
Josh, I say we jump right in and play the first piece.
Oh, okay. Yeah, catch.
And then we'll talk about the album just to get some music happening right away.
Absolutely, definitely. For those of you who are joining us... Sorry. Well,
take your job. You go.
All right. I have one job. I'm just going to do it. Folks, thank you for being here. My name's Josh. This is Bonus Stage. We're currently hosting a Let's Listen. That is our album release party/stream. And we've got the Videri String Quartet here, and we are celebrating their latest release, Quarentets. And Rosie, maybe I'll let you introduce this track.
All right. So the first track we're going to start off with is Fever from Dr. Mario, which is a very appropriate track for a Quarentets album. And this was arranged by Thomas Kresge, who we absolutely adore. He's wonderful. So, I mean, take it away, Josh.
All right, will do. Enjoy, everyone. Oh my gosh, we're having a laugh
Yay!
riot backstage, folks. But you just heard the first. Well, no, that's not the first track on the album, is it? We're going in a bit of a mixed order, but that is the first track that we are listening to today. Dr. Mario Fever theme from Videri String Quartet's own Quarentets album. Thoughts, feelings, questions. What's going on?
Arranged by your very own Thomas Kresge, who is in the chat.
I just saw him in the chat. Yeah.
Yay!
There he is. Yeah, thanks for the great recording. Absolutely. Isn't that so fulfilling to be an arranger and just have like incredibly talented people doing recordings for you? That's awesome. I'm happy for you.
Here's the thing, though. So, like, I'm not sure if we disclosed how this album came about, right? We had the idea of doing it as a competition. So we got arrangement submissions, and it was blind judged. So even though we did have a bunch of friends who were composers and video game arrangers, we wanted to open up to anyone really who was sharing the sentiment of the pandemic and being isolated and wanted to contribute to this album. And it just turned out that a lot of our friends were selected. Anyway,
Nepotism.
Rosie, sorry, I thought you wanted to say something.
I thought that was great. Yeah, I was gonna say, for any of you that don't know the premise of this album, Videri was actually rehearsing in New York City on March 13th, 2020. And so we actually hilariously we were rehearsing in Chris's basement. And I didn't really know that everything was happening until we went home.
Well, do you remember you went to my apartment and my parents cooked for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a dinner there. And then my parents got stuck. And they're from Brazil, and they were like their flights were kept getting canceled. I'm like, guys, I think you're just gonna stay here until next year or something, because it's not gonna get better soon. Yeah.
But yeah, and so when Jeremiah and I got back to Boston, it's just like everything started falling off the calendar, and work was canceled, and concerts were canceled, and then it's like we couldn't leave our apartments, and inside I just had this fear, because the last 10 years of my life have been devoted to this quartet, and I was like, I can't let it go. How do we keep going when we're separated? And so we came up with the idea of having an arranging competition, and we pulled it together, and that arranging competition launched in June. We started judging in August, and we all expected about 20 submissions, and we got over 60. So it was the level was insanely high. So and so that's the whole premise. And if you look at the track list, you'll notice that every single game has to do with pandemics or quarantines or something to do with the pandemic. So
if
we
you
ended
got
up with an
that
album.
many, if you got that many submissions, does that mean that there's going to be a Quarentets 2, a Quarentets 3? We've only got 15 tracks to hear today, but you said you got 60 submissions?
I mean, it was a competition, and we did kind of put a cut on, because we're like, we can only record an hour's worth of music. And so we actually did, I was the moderator, so I knew who everyone was, but the rest of the quartet all just had sound files and blank scores. And we actually went through and judged them all, and then it ended up being the top 15 tracks made it onto the album. So there's definitely going to be, there are some arrangements that we have that are amazing that didn't quite make it onto the album. So there probably is going to be like Quarentets extra footage, or we'll come up with something like vaccine booster or something.
The booster album. Oh my goodness.
The booster album, that's great.
The booster album. Yeah. Well, the crazy thing is, like, I think going into it, I thought like, okay, we've got more than 60 submissions, but there are going to be like 10 that are really good and 50 that are just terrible, right? But no.
Oh my gosh.
There was like none that were terrible. There were like a lot that were really good. So it was, it boiled down to like, okay, what are the scores? Okay, these are the ones that won. Oh, I really like this one. I really liked it too, but it didn't quite score high enough. So you could easily we could definitely make a booster album with all the others, like that would be as good as the Quarentets album, really. And there was a lot of good stuff that came in. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to make all of the arrangers happy so that they can all feel how Thomas feels right now.
I mean, and it's like every single arranger that sent us a submission should be just over the moon with themselves, because again, like there was a point in time, we were on, because again, we were on, I think it was Zoom at the time, for 3 days in a row, just listening and talking to, it's like, and we would all like, I had to have my camera and mic off the entire time because they couldn't see it because I knew who everyone was. So I was hanging out with the dog that I was dog sitting at the time by myself on Zoom alone.
Yeah, I was like, Rosie, don't say anything. Don't say anything about this one because you know who it is, and we can't know who it is.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a truly, like, it was definitely, I've never done anything like this, and it was a learning experience for me from beginning to end. And the like Eli was saying, like, we got through probably like the first day, and it was like, how are we going to choose? Like, we thought this was going to be easy, and it was not.
It was not easy at all. Yeah.
So I was going to say, I kind of like, if you do look at the track listing, it is different than the one that we're doing today. And I kind of broke it up because, as you can tell, I love to talk. And if you let me talk between tracks, we're going to be here until next week. So Josh and I kind of broke it up into, like, I believe, manageable listening chunks. And during those manageable listening chunks, we'll be active in the chat. So please feel free to ask away. But I kind of broke it up into like different games, because obviously we're doing a Quarentets album. We're going to get a lot of Last of Us scores. And we sure did. And they're all really different, and they're all incredible. So, and we also got a lot of Hollow Knight, which I wasn't familiar with Hollow Knight, and now I love Hollow Knight. So, the next
I was so happy to see Hollow Knight submissions, I have to say. I love that soundtrack, and I love that game.
This has been like, we should do Hollow Knight. We should do Hollow Knight. Here you go, Mateus. 3 Hollow Knight scores. But I did want to say the next piece, which is the Hollow Knight main theme. This is the only track that you're going to hear tonight that is a live recording, because when we were in Michigan last week, we actually recorded this. So this is a live recording. I'm super excited that we were able to sneak one in there.
And it's fresh.
And Alan is playing this one.
Yep.
There we go. All right. Well, with that said, shall we dive into it?
Let's do it.
And like, please, if you have questions about anything, we'll be in the chat and we'll be answering. So please ask away.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we're going to be listening to the Hollow Knight title theme, the Hornet theme, City of Tears, and capping it off with Nier Automata, the amusement park. Yeah. So without any further ado, let's take it away. Enjoy. Wow. Woo. Yeah. Yes,
Yay!
all of the applause. Yes, applaud yourselves. Absolutely. Oh man. Well,
Applause
that was a
to the
good
Rangers.
chunk of music there. Yeah, and super nice to see the live performance placed on the end of that. That was super fun. Um what was I going to say? Oh shit, it just lost me. Somebody take over. Quick, save me.
So, I was going to say something too, and now I just lost it. It's contagious.
Oh no.
Um,
I was gonna say something and I just lost it.
man,
We were talking
Keep
about
it
all the
going.
green screen stuff, like this, like
Yeah.
the effort that goes into getting the lighting right with all the different green screens and Rosie's excellent editing work and the violist falling over in not the last one but the one before, just laughing about that. So good job, Rosie, on all of that.
Oh,
thank you. A little
Yeah.
context for that spot in there. Jamin, we're going to talk about that. It's just it's just like the continuing fast notes for the viola. It's like I would record it and it's like my hand would literally freeze up just because it's really big intervals that are really fast. And so it's
She would
like
literally just start dropping, just like the sprite in the video. She'd be recording and being like, "Oh."
Just like T-frame, just like live.
I had to punch in for that, but I just when I was making the videos, I was like I have to add that little thing.
The results does slap hard. You have a point
It
there.
does. It really does. So, and I think like honestly,
good.
again, like a lot of times when Videri works to get arrangements, we work very closely with arrangers. And so something along those lines, like I actually, like by looking at it, I think that if the second violin and the viola switched off, it would actually work really well. Just to give, like to kind of trade it. But still, I totally agree, like totally worth it. But it's still like little inside joke for me is really what it was. Because I did edit a lot of videos this week.
An excellent job on that too. The videos are really fun. I love that's actually kind of what I wanted to comment on was the fact that like you don't often see a lot of score videos and stuff like that. I think that's a really nice presentation, but also kind of like a gift to the other musicians out there who would be enjoying your music and might want to learn to play that for themselves.
Well, and even just like being able to, as a musician, being able to see all the parts and how everything fits together, that's how we learn. I think it was Berlioz who would hand copy Beethoven scores. He would go every night and he would like look over and see the score and like copy it out and like can't really argue with Berlioz.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is how composers just learned back in the day before they, even like study with other people. Like, I feel like Vivaldi also did like learn that way. Bach actually also learned from copying just people's scores. Oh, so this is how it works and stuff. So
yeah,
and now you don't even have to do that in person. You can just you just do that all online behind everyone's backs.
Yep. So Chatty asked a great question, and it's like, what does the process look like? And for this album, that process didn't happen. It really was like because we had to get things done, and I mean, it's like it was crazy during the pandemic. Like I was a mess. It's like trying to teach lessons online, and so we really didn't communicate with the composers as much as we typically do. We just we made our own click tracks, and so we as a quartet kind of solved problems. But typically when we work with arrangers, it's like they'll send us something, we will record it, and we'll work on it and send scratch recordings, or even better, have the arranger composer there with us and make notes, and then they will edit it. And it's kind of like this whole. It is like working together to get the best, because it's like, how can you know how every single little instrument works? Like I feel that's so it's like if we're all able to work together to create something, that's in my view the way, the best way.
This is the way.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
This is the way, exactly.
But again, like honestly, this also pushed me because I probably the Hornet, which it's phenomenal. If I would have gotten that, I probably been like, no, I can't play this. I pushed and I can play it. So it's like this challenged me to be better. So it was a good thing. So, but I also want to make a huge shout out to Chatty anyway, because we just launched a Patreon. Thank you so much to Alan Hahn for taking point on that. And Chatty is our first patron. So big thank you to Chatty. She's
Thank you.
our favorite person ever.
Thank you, Chatty.
But if you would like to support us, please consider our Patreon. We all live in 4 different states now, and we still get to. No, don't, Chatty. We love you.
Yes.
But we all 4 states, and so when we get together to rehearse, we have to buy plane tickets, rent a car. Thankfully, we were able to actually stay with Mateus and Manu, and we got tons done, and it was amazing. But it is a cost. So
Yeah, definitely. I was
Yeah.
also going to say that usually scores might be like a perk that somebody would put in their Patreon and then use that as a segue, but you got it all taken care of. You're on top of things up there, Rosie.
I mean, I really like it because I did that. That's something I struggled with a lot. It's like, do we post these scores? And in the end, it really came down to I was like, um, a lot of it has to do with my partner who taught himself music. Like he taught himself theory and how to play piano and guitar from watching YouTube videos. And I was like, why we need to be part of this? Like, you know, if there's a kid out there or if there's anyone out there that's like, I really want to play this line, great. Like at least you can see it there. So
Yeah,
I mean
they too
it's
want to
music,
be a
it's meant to be
sprite and just
played.
like slowly fall over while they're learning their part for viola. That's
But I mean,
some
you know,
kid's
it's
dream
just
out there. Yeah.
yeah,
Slowly
yeah.
collapse.
Had to do that one. I
Yeah.
was like, if nothing else, I have to get that sprite into Hornet.
Oh my
But
god.
again, as for those of you that just came in, although I feel like we're keeping a pretty steady number, but we're not going in track order. The order of the album is different. But we did while I was thinking of this track order, I really did try to group things kind of together. And so we could talk about them and you wouldn't have to listen to me talk forever, which I love to do. But again, when we were talking about this album, it was brought up. It's like, oh man, they're all gonna be from The Last of Us, and we did get a fair chunk from The Last of Us, and a lot of like we did get a fair chunk that made it onto the album, but it's pretty like again, as I was making these videos, I was really listening to things over and over and over, which is not a bad thing. I actually loved it, which means I'm proud of the album and I like the album. But the each one of these arrangements is so different. And the other thing too is like not only do we have a lot from The Last of Us, we have the same track. So the main theme made it on there twice by two different arrangers and it's different. It's so good. So it's just like an incredible like glimpse into what we can do with string quartets and all the things like you can take one theme, one track and come up with very, very different things that are incredible. So
Absolutely. And we're going to be listening to those on the next block here. Yeah,
Awesome.
so we got the next 5 tracks are all The Last of Us. One of them is The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, but we'll be bookending this next block with both versions of the main theme. So I'm really excited.
yeah. And I do want to just say that Eli does have to run, so
Yes.
I just want to say thank you, Eli, for joining us. And
thank you. It's been great seeing everybody, and thank you all for listening to our album. We worked hard on it, and it's been great to see you all.
Awesome. Glad you could make it,
yes.
Eli. Thanks for being here.
Me too. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll kick things off here with The Last of Us, and the Last of Us will be here on the other side to talk about it. So please enjoy.
Oh, good job.
Thanks.
That was
Nice.
well done.
Great. Amazing.
That's what I'm here for. All right, folks, here it is. Enjoy The Last of Us. Gosh, what can I say? What am I supposed to say? I don't understand. I'm the one who's supposed to be leading the pack here, and I'm just speechless. Excellent job. Excellent work, everybody.
I mean, big big shout out to the arrangers too. We could have never done that without everyone. So I'm so excited to see so many people here. This is really, really quite. It's really exciting. I mean, especially just because COVID was tough. I know it was tough for everyone, and I really truly wasn't sure Videri was going to make it, and we did. And after rehearsal last weekend, I feel good.
That's awesome. Well, how the heck did you do it? Like what was the what was the recording and the production process like for all this? Because obviously, a string quartet, I'm sure, is used to being in the same room and doing something live off the floor, whereas you're all kind of like in your separate corners and stuff like that. How did that work out for putting this all together?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Mateus.
Yeah, it's a good question because when we are all four of us in the same place, a lot of the work happens very quickly. Where it's just like we're all there. We play something and we immediately realize. I mean, even while we were playing, like, that person is doing this one thing that I didn't think about. Well, let me see how my part works if I try to imitate that, or go against that, or something like that. So we're like bouncing off of each other constantly, and and very fast. And when we do it remotely, it's like, okay, one of us goes and records the whole thing, the whole piece, and then the next person listens to it and records. I'll be like, oh, okay, I didn't expect this, and then maybe just re-record this one bit or something, But usually, I think for this whole album, what we did is, so Jeremiah's wife played. Did she play all parts or just the cello part? I don't remember.
I think it was just his part. I think she just played his part on the piano.
Yeah, on the piano, and then Jeremiah recorded to that just so he would know that his intonation was kind of like on point. And then we started building up from there. And I think it was just like there were a few tracks where one of us would listen to it and record it and just be like, oh, I was actually thinking of this part more like this and that, and then we would send it back, and then, the other person would like, oh, okay, let me re-record my part then. And then the person would re-record and be like, oh, okay, now it matches, but yeah, it definitely took way longer than, our typical in-person experiences where we're just like doing this, in a matter of seconds, minutes, Now it's just like, okay, well, did you download my stem, and did you download my multi-track and put it in your DAW, and is it lighting up, and and all of that.
And before pre-COVID, pre-March 13th, 2020, I knew nothing about recording myself. Nothing. And then suddenly it was like, okay, these are the microphones I need to buy. This is how I have to set it up. And I actually had a Zoom call with Nathan Chandler, who did the mixing for this. Mateus did all the editing. Yay!
Yay! Shout out to Nathan, though, who made the magic of making it sound like the four of us were in the same room. I don't even know how he does that.
So Mateus, he actually, I don't remember if I told you guys this or not. I sent in my first stem, and he just messaged me. He's like, no. And he's like, we were on a Zoom.
He was there in the chat. Unicycle audio. Hey.
We
were talking about multi-tracks.
And so he was on a Zoom call on my dresser, and I looking at my room and telling me where to put the mic, and I would record something and send it to him, and then he would tell me where, how to move and how to stand. I had little X's on my carpet where everything was, and I had measured. I was like, okay, the mics go right here on my face when I'm standing here, just for height. It definitely it was a big learning curve, I think, for all of us. Yeah.
And the nice thing is that now all of us have pretty decent microphones, a pretty decent setup. So when we came to meet last weekend and record, it's like, oh, look at this. we have three very nice ribbon microphones, and then this stereo pair, and then like these nice interface, nice preamps. We just like hook it all up together and be like, okay, cool.
So we're all now professionals.
Yeah. Necessity is the mother of artists learning things about
cloud lifters everywhere.
Self-sufficiency. Yeah. Oh my god.
Cloud lifters. Good place.
Oh.
Yes.
But
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's very akin to, I think, how a lot of bedroom producers are doing it these days. You know, like just you gotta be able to work with what you got. That's really fun though. That's exciting, and I love that you just kind of like took a very rock band approach of like laying down the first track, like just starting from the bottom and just building on top of it. It certainly doesn't sound like, I don't know. I mean, not that I'm just like here listening to 1,000 sound recordings of other string quartets and be like, no, these guys, no, they totally sound like they multi-tracked in in separate spaces or anything like that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that your performances all came through in a very cohesive way, and it doesn't sound like I should know otherwise. You know.
Another thing that that I'm not sure we mentioned too is that we typically don't ever play to click tracks unless we're doing like a very, like a session recording. And so like we were faced with this issue of like, we have to play with click track. No way around it. And so we actually kind of split them all up, and every single one of us, I think I only did one because again, very new to recording, but it's like each person would take a piece and they would create a click track how they felt the piece should breathe. Mm-hmm. So it's not just a straight click track. It really is like, it was very thought out, and it feels, again, like it feels natural and real, and that helped a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then of course you have to listen to the click track a lot because you're like, okay, it slows down here and I want to be with this person exactly here. Mm-hmm. But I will say, because I typically was the second person to record, because Jeremiah would lay down the cello tracks and then I would record. It didn't happen all the time, but the first time I played and I was the last person, I was so emotional. I started crying because I felt like I was playing with the quartet again, like in my own bedroom at home. So
the cool thing is like it really becomes like an augmented experience because when you're in a room with a quartet, like you are kind of relying on some visual cues. You can hear like the people maybe that they are across from you, but like not as well as the people the person right next to you, right? Yeah. But when you're recording, and then like a lot of the times like we were very close mic'd, sometimes you can hear the person breathing like right here on your ear. That is like this augmented reality of being like, like Rose's right here, my goodness. It's just like he's in my head. Yeah, anyway, and it's a cool thing though. Yeah, it becomes like this augmented reality kind of experience. It's really cool.
My goodness. Well, speaking of having your reality augmented, the next track that we are going to be listening to is a Mega Man track. How do you like that for a segue?
Oh, that's wow.
My one job is coming up with really bad segues. But yeah,
you're killing it, Josh.
Thanks very much. I'll take whatever compliments I can get.
Augmented Man.
Yeah, augmented.
Sorry.
Rockmented Man. Oh, dang.
Yes.
There it is.
So for our next and final block, I should say, we've got we've kind of had like pretty consistent theming of games, but now we've got the real mixed bag. But I mean, that's not to like speak ill of it at all. We've got Mega Man 10, Bloodborne, Deus Ex, A Plague Tale: Innocence, and Death Stranding. Anything that you want to preface this next little bit of listening with words?
I just want to. So when we did the arrangement competition, we did. Like we didn't like rank everyone. We're like, this is the order it is, but we did choose the top 3 arrangements, and so we had 1 first place and then 2 runners up, and the first place recording Death Stranding is the last arrangement that you're going to hear tonight, and then the two runners up were the Nier Automata, the live action of us. I like how when I do live action, it's viola pose. And then, so I'm in the middle of editing our live action, The Shelter, which was our other runners up, but I did not make it, so that one is going to be a score video, but not forever. But I do want to give a shout out to Corey Nichols, who did the green screen, all the live animation stuff, the live green screen stuff he did, and the Death Stranding, he killed it. It's so good. I'm not going to say anything else other than it's amazing. But yeah, so I just want to and he's also the one who taught me how to do all the animations, so he's really behind all of the videos you're seeing today.
Aw.
But I don't know, anything else you guys want to add? I just wanted to.
Great. Okay,
All
then
right.
we're going
All
to
right.
listen to some music and look at some scores and some wonderful animation, courtesy of the Videri String Quartet. Yeah, folks, this is Mega Man 10 Nitro Rider. We'll see you on the other side. Alone we have no future, which is why it is so wonderful that we can all be together here today. Thank you.
Yay!
Yes, bravo. Lots of applause in chat. Thank you. That is the last track that we'll be listening to today. But gosh, yeah, I don't want to close off the show just yet. It's just so wonderful to hang out with you folks and to talk about this beautiful music. Yeah, any thoughts, any feelings about God? I mean, we went all over the place in terms of games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we kind of. Yeah, and again, like one of the things I was doing before the album came out is I was just making little teaser trailers, and I would like zoom in, because if you look at that album art, like I am still just blown away by like the care that Katie and Nate put into that. But it's like every single item on there has something to do with an arrangement.
Like,
So it's like,
I'm just gonna
Nice.
hold on.
Yeah.
No. I'm trying to
Nice.
get. I want to really zoom in on this stuff here. Hold on. Oh no. I'm just gonna. I'll hide us. Here we go. Yeah. Oop. Wrong layer. Oh, where the hell did I just put it? Oh no. I'm messing it
You
all
can tell
up.
that I'm in the Hollow Knight area, kind of
Yeah.
Hollow Knight
Yeah.
like area, because I liked Hollow Knight and played it and loved it. So
Like this is a massive file, by the way. This is like 5,000 pixels or something like that. Like, boom! Look at that! Look at that! What do we got? What do we got up here? We got like Midgar or something like that. And we
there,
got.
that's the city from Deus Ex.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a castle. It looks like Castlevania up there in the top right almost.
So and so actually one of the arrangements that was supposed to be on the album was Castlevania, and my part was impossible. So we had to kind of put it on hold, and we're going to record it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be on the album, but we're gonna make sure to release it. But that one, when we get together, we can actually record that, but it's still on the album art.
Nice. Well, yeah, you can just reuse this album art then when you do the booster pack, right?
Yeah. And so the other thing, if you zoom over to where I am, this is just an inside joke between Nate and myself.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. Do you
Yeah.
mind? Go up back to my island. What does that look like? Anyone want to take a stab at what that island looks like?
I don't want to stab that. That looks like a horse.
It is a horse.
Please,
no
nobody stab.
stabbing of horses allowed.
No.
No stabbing of horses.
Nope.
Yes, no stabbing of horses.
Oh my god.
But it's kind of a kind of a play on how Nate and I met. And it's because his last name is Horsefall, and it's like I sent him a message. I was like, I love horses and I love your last name, and then we just became best friends.
That's a beautiful
It was
story.
really kind of this very ridiculous story. But I do love horses, as you could probably see. There's horse posters behind me, and I grew up riding and showing. But so there's just there's so many little things in that album art that are just truly incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Well, we want to make sure that people know where to go for that album. So it is currently out on several streaming platforms. What do I have links for here?
Yes.
I've got links for Spotify. If you spot the fi, you can go and listen to it there. We've got it on Amazon. We'll drop a link if you use your Amazon Music. Actually, I think I can legally stream your music on Twitch if I use my my Amazon Prime account or something like that. It's over on Apple Music, Deezer. Are we expecting any other platforms coming out? Are you going to do a Bandcamp
it's
release?
Pretty much
or?
up. So we're not doing a Bandcamp release for this, and the reason is because Sounddrop, who we license it through, does not release to Bandcamp. So we would have to actually go through and get the mechanical licenses on our own. And it's just maybe in the future we'll do that, but right now it kind of is. We need to be focusing on other things. Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube Music, so it's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
and Jared. The same thing for the physical release. We actually were talking about that, and that's kind of really like if a lot of interest is shown, we'll definitely do that. But the whole concept behind the album was we are remote. We are there. We can't get together. There is no, it's like there's not being in the same room. But again, the pandemic is over and we can revisit that.
Yeah, do like a vinyl
But
release
for
or something.
sure, make posters available for sale at some point. For sure, because that poster is just beautiful.
Yeah. Blow that up. Put it over your mantle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be available. So.
Yep.
Awesome. Cool.
But yeah, I'm just so excited that there's so many people here, and like, I'm so excited to share this because it's been 2 years.
I think we were talking about this project last time we had Videri on bonus stage, like I want to say a year and a half ago almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been conceiving for a long time.
Yeah, well, and then it's like right after I talked to you, I almost quit music. Like I was just like I had to have like I was working as a teacher in the public schools again, and I was just like I can't handle the stress of a musician. But then
well, we're glad that you held in there.
There's a question, who's Videri? So Legendary Levy, I'm sorry if I butchered that name. We are a string quartet that plays covers of video game music along with traditional classical repertoire. And this is the album we recorded remotely during the pandemic, which was the first remote album we've ever done. All of our other stuff has been live. And you can check us out. We have a website, www.viderisq.com, YouTube channel, all of the things.
Instagram, Discord.
Yeah, Alan's all over the social media.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. We've got links to all the things.
Where's our Discord invite? Let me see.
I will. Can I just throw it into the chat?
Yeah. Just pop it right in there. Please do.
I win.
Oh, you got it.
Yes.
You win.
Akron Good. That's discord.gg/Akron Good.
Yeah, and we also wanted to put in the Patreon as well, just so that
oh my God.
We love doing what we do, and we really want to bring all this music to you guys, and hope that some of us can bring us some support, so that we can all meet. As Rosie said before, we're all in different parts of the country. Getting to one another is going to be a little bit more interesting now, but any support helps.
Absolutely, definitely. So go and support them on Patreon. Make sure you're listening to their music. Just put it on rotation while you sleep. I'm sure you'll sleep fantastic and have wonderful dreams about horses and lots of beautiful things like that. And that all goes to help support the Videri String Quartet. I want to thank all three of you and Eli, of course, for making it here and having a Let's Listen on bonus stage. It's always a treat to do these, and it's a special treat to do it with you as well.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Josh.
For having us.
And thank you everyone who stayed and listened. And we were commenting while the music was going on. It's like, oh, the comments are so good, and they're so like specific and like high level musicianship comments. So anyway, we love seeing those.
I kind of want to at some point do like a mystery science theater Let's Listen, so that we could actually talk about, it's like we could talk while the score is going, because there's so many times that I want to just be like, look at this part, that's such good writing.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I get our silhouettes on the bottom and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. We have to add some robots just because.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Dang, Rosie. I'm going to take that idea. That sounds awesome. Okay, but I'll let you... We can pilot it together. I don't want to just, like, rip that idea from you and not and never speak to you again. Yeah,
I did want to shout out... Sorry, just one more.
One more.
Everyone who was involved in the making of this album, because there's so many, like all of the arrangers who now, like, it's incredible that like I talk to these people now, and it's like we created relationships because of this, which is incredible that we did this during a pandemic. And then huge shout out to Nathan Chandler, who has been with Videri from the beginning. So
Yeah.
he truly is. I'm a fan. And
OG.
then, of course, Nate and Katie, who really, really just killed it with the artwork. So,
Yep.
yeah, so many people went into making this album, and I'm so proud of every little part of it.
Yep.
And you should be.
Oh.
All right, folks, I'm going to start wrapping things up here. Just a couple other quick self plugs, if I may. Yeah, so if you're here for the first time, thank you for being here, first of all. Happy that you're here tuning in. We do host monthly virtual concerts on this channel, and we have our next one coming up on March 12th with a killer lineup. Please just follow us here on Twitch and look for our links on social media if you want some updates on that. And yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to plug. But yeah, thank you everyone for being here. It's been a wonderful time. I'm gonna leave a couple of tunes on, and if anybody is up for it, I might do a raid. So yeah, thanks again, everybody. Thank you to Rosie and Mateus and Alan for being here today. It's been a wonderful time.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we'll see you folks later. Have a good one.
Bye.
Started.